I was listening to the ocean. I saw a face in the sand, but when I picked it up, then it vanished away from my hands. Done. I had a dream I was 7, lying in my waiting tree. I saw a piece of heaven waiting in patience for me. And I was running far away. Would I run off the world someday? Nobody knows, nobody knows. I was dancing in the rain. I felt alive and I can't complain. But no, take me home where I belong. I can't take it anymore.
All right, welcome back to the channel. Captain Steve Pope here. I am here with Captain Mike Searcy, and you've been promoted to captain how long now?
Going on a solid 3 weeks.
Solid 3 weeks. And how many years have you been on the job?
So for KCK, I'm about 18 and a half now, pushing 19.
Where were you at before?
Emporia,
That's
Kansas
right,
for
that's
about
right.
a year and a half. Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see, the backside of what we have here, and you've seen in the opening stuff, is Zoom. So tell me about Zoom. How old is he?
Zoom turned 6 years old, the ripe old age of 6 years old, a couple weeks ago.
So what's he doing now? He's, like you said, he's showing.
So right now what Zoom is doing, he's super interested in the toy that's in my back pocket. These dogs, one of the reasons they get selected is their toy drive. I've got a toy in my back pocket, so right now he's throwing behavior or doing whatever he can to earn that toy. So usually he'll bark, you'll hear him bark a couple times to try and get it. When that doesn't work, you'll see him sit, you'll see him lay down. He's doing whatever he thinks he needs to do to try and get that toy.
So how long have you been with Zoom?
So Zoom and I have been together since 2018. He's from a place called Ground Zero Emergency Training in Oklahoma. It's a non-profit agency that was started by Barry Switzer, the football coach.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, for the Sooners and the Cowboys, and his wife Becky. And all of this got started up after the Oklahoma City bombing, when they didn't have enough of these dogs to be able to respond and assist in locating people that were potentially trapped.
Okay.
So
what's he considered, a live?
Live find search K-9, also referred to as a disaster dog.
Okay, so you could go to the hurricane, for example, that just hit Florida. You could.
Yep.
They could ask you to come down there.
Yes, and we have been deployed to Florida and North Carolina on hurricanes.
Okay, so the reason I'm doing a video for a golf channel, albeit
I know.
Mike's a firefighter,
Mhm.
but when Mike saw what I was trying to do, he didn't realize what I was really trying to do.
Yeah, I didn't get, when I got the opportunity to see one of the full videos, one of your full presentations, I was like, man, that hits home with me. And I'll say now, I've tried golf and I am terrible, like terrible. But I related that outlet of golf to my outlet, which ends up being part of my job with my dog.
So yeah, when Mike and I talked eventually about what he just told you, we talked about we got to get Zoom and you on the channel to talk about how this is your outlet.
Sure.
Us as firefighters, first responders need to find an outlet.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important, and
Absolutely.
that's the mission. Is that, as well as bringing awareness, let us know that, hey man, we have a load, and we just were at a class today where we need to recalibrate.
A fantastic class.
Yes.
But yeah, we've got to find a way to decompress, to let things out, and not keep it bottled up inside. And whether it's golf or pre-dog, I did a lot of fishing, camping, things like that. But he has truly become that outlet for me.
And how's he fit in with the family since you've had him?
Beautifully. So my son is 9 years old, and I hadn't had Zoom at home for but a couple months. And quick story, Jake had learned all Zoom's commands. We're outside playing one night, and they have a playhouse. It's got a ladder, and it's about this high a platform with a slide. I said, hey, I got to go in and check on dinner or whatever it was. I came back out, and my son's having him climb up the ladder and go down the slide. And when I walked around the corner, Jake was like, oh, he thought he was going to be in trouble. I'm like, carry on, dude. This is footing work. Have at it. So, and the dog's having a blast. Anytime you see my dog working, and what you're going to see later, that tail is always wagging. A happy dog is a dog that's learning. So we always want a happy dog.
All right, yeah. Just in the little tidbit I watched, I enjoyed what I saw. So we'll just film the best I can, because I'm not a cinematographer. I do this just, you know, out of the joy of trying to spread this mission. And you will just, I might have questions for you.
Absolutely.
Where you can explain your words that you're saying or what he's doing. So yeah, let's get right into you working with Zoom. And how often do you do this with him, by the way, to keep him up to speed?
So just a little background on it. He's from the breeding program at Ground Zero. So that's where he was born. He's from a litter called the Z class. So all of the dogs in that litter have a name that starts with Z.
There you go, okay.
And another thing about that is they start their training at 8 weeks old, and it never stops. Currently, we still train daily. Matter of fact, we were in this spot last night with a Boy Scout troop, and Zoom searched for 5 Boy Scouts that were hiding in various spots out here. So we got some good work in.
We got a guest appearance here.
Hey,
Good job, Captain Zoom.
Captain.
no, that's Battalion Chief Zoom. I'm the
Chief
captain now. He always outranks me by 1 spot.
He's gonna get.
Yeah, because you're a battalion chief driver like I'm going to be.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Say hi to the YouTube fans, Captain
No.
Dave. No, you're
No, you're
fine.
good, buddy. You're
This
good.
is what people like to see.
How you doing, folks?
Guest appearance, right?
Guest appearance. Hey, you're going viral.
Yep.
Well, hello, folks. How you doing?
These dogs, there's 3 traits we look for aside from their size and agility and things like that. But those 3 traits are hunt drive, food drive, and play drive. And by play drive, I mean I need my dog to want to run through a wall for me for his toy. So when we're training, you see he's already throwing a behavior like we just talked about. He's sitting thinking that's going to get him the toy. So, and now he's alerting to try to get the toy. So, wait, down. Good boy, wait. So, essentially every time he does something in training or in real world that I need him to do, his reward is the toy. And it's not just any toy, but tug toys. These dogs love to play tug. It's an endorphin dump in their brain to sink their teeth into something and have it pulling back. Kind of that baser instinct.
Okay.
Of grabbing prey and it trying to pull away. Right? So here. Yes. Come on. Yes. Good. So he will latch onto this. Oh, you don't have a good bite. You don't have a good bite. There we go. Good boy. So it's also really good exercise for them. You can see how hard he's working the hindquarters, core, and he is pulling hard, especially when he can dig into something like grass. Good boy. Yes. Oh,
nice.
Yeah. And you always see how happy and proud he looks after he wins his toy.
Nice.
Good boy.
All right, Mike, how do you get the toy from him?
So, you noticed when we played tug, I let him win that toy. We always let the dog win the toy. If I start winning it and taking it, they'll become possessive of it and won't give it up when I need him to give it up, like this. Here. Out. Good.
Okay, nice. Okay.
So a simple out command. Zoom has about between 40 and 50 commands built into him, whether it's verbal commands from me, sounds, or hand signals. And through the course of some of this other stuff, you're going to see all of that in play.
Okay. So what do you want to do first with them to show the people?
Oh, well, let's do, people are always fascinated to watch a dog climb a ladder. So
Okay.
we'll start with that. One of the reasons we do this, one, it's a foundational skill for them that they have to be able to display during testing. But another reason for it is if I have an elevated point and I need to send my dog into a damaged structure from a partial building collapse, a tornado, a hurricane, whatever it may be, I need him to be able to do that on his own.
Okay.
So we teach the dogs how to climb ladders. And once he climbs that ladder, if you swing back around that way, we'll show some directional stuff on the pallets.
Okay.
Here. Get up. Slow. Good. Wait. Wait. Good boy. Good boy. Over. Wait. Over. Off. Here. Off. Off. Come on. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. And you'll hear me say yes before I reward him every time. Yes to my dog means you've done what I've asked, here's your reward.
Okay.
His reward in this instance is the tug.
And
Right? Good boy. Yeah. Good.
good job, Zoom.
Good dog. That was an awkward jump off there. Are you okay, buddy?
Yeah, that one was.
Not the most graceful thing in the world, were you?
He's getting older. He's 6 years old now.
I know, yeah. He's getting some gray in his muzzle like his dad.
Oh man, let's. Yeah, zoomed in on that muzzle.
Oh, yeah, thanks for that. Okay.
So Mike, you were talking to me about, and I thought this would be important for the channel. You ran a call with a mass shooting.
Yep.
And you went to training with Zoom the next day. So tell us that story. I think it's important.
Yeah, so we have a saying in the K-9 world that the handler's emotions travel down the leash. And so we, on shift, ran a mass shooting. I was in command for that for a short time, otherwise doing the other medical care. And we like to think, or at least you feel like, everything's all good. I'm going to my next day, I'm doing the next thing. I drove to a spot to train with a couple of K-9 handlers. We got out there. It was not a difficult rubble pile by any means for him. And we were just having a bad day. He did not look good. He wasn't running well. And I felt like just super frustrated. And I thought sometimes the dogs just have a bad day. We have a bad day. Well, we got all done and one of the other handlers came up to me and said, "What's the deal? Are you okay? Because you were getting after him really hard today." And nothing, you know, I've never put hands on my dog in a negative way or anything like that. She's just like, "You seem frustrated. You were kind of, you know, verbally getting after him a little bit." And it was just not you guys. It's not you. It's not him. And that's when it kind of clicked. So I told her about the call we ran the night before, and she's like, "Hey," and she's much more experienced than me in the K-9 world. She said, "Hey, remember, your emotions go down the leash. Even if you don't actively feel like you're down or frustrated or whatever, the dog can feel that. If I'm feeling frustrated, he's gonna feel frustrated. If I'm feeling nervous, he's gonna feel it. If I'm feeling bold and confident, guess what? He's at the end of the leash, bold and confident." So that really kind of resonated with me because I ended up seeing it in my dog. And she said, "Hey, the next time you run something like that, take a day off from the dog. Just go play fetch. Go for a walk. Don't do anything that, you know, could raise a stress level to where you're feeling something from the day before." So that's another reason why I'm all in on what Steve's doing and wanting to help any way we can, and that's why we're here talking to you guys today.
Well, just to pop in here, please get some water there, bud. Is something, the message I'm always trying to get across to people now is and the chief that gave us that class today, he talked about, you know, that one, he used it as like a CO detector.
Yeah.
The way we've
Great
been
analogy.
described is like
Yeah.
a glass of water. When we leave shift, like you left the shift after that call, your water was overflowing. You didn't have time to empty it, and then you
Right.
went and did training with him.
Yep.
So that's what I'm trying to get across is the residual effect of stress. Even though you don't feel it, it's there.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
No, and the analogy that Deputy Chief gave us today about, you know, a small CO leak eventually will still set that detector off, but it's slow and over time.
Yep.
And that is a great analogy for the stress that we end up taking on in doing this type
Yeah,
of
the
stuff.
cumulative effect, the residual effect.
Yep.
And so, yeah. All right, thanks for
Absolutely.
sharing that, Mike.
Absolutely.
So, Mike, I have a question. When he's up here on these pallets, it'd be like a building collapse.
Sure.
You know, a lot of people know about Oklahoma City bombing or the World Trade Center. Sharp objects, sharp rocks. He's got to watch his step with these pallets. Do you have to put booties on them or not when they're...
So he does have a set of Kevlar boots. The only time I would put those on him, the only time I would put those on him is if he has an injury that I need to protect, but he's still capable of working with, such as a torn pad.
Okay.
And the reason we don't put them on them all the time is they actually will individually grip with their toes and their claws. So it'd be like me asking you, Steve, to type me a paper, but wear mittens.
Okay.
Makes sense?
I see what you're saying.
I need all that dexterity there for him.
Okay.
But if he can wear one of those to protect a light injury and keep working, then that's what we're gonna do.
Okay, sounds good, thanks.
So we got a couple different things. I've got these concrete pads over here, just to display some directional control. And earlier I was talking about in his commands, there's hand signals, there's verbal, and there's non-verbal. So for directional control, here, It's kind of a combination of both. I'm telling him over, but I'm also giving him a hand presentation on the direction I want him to move over.
Okay.
The functionality of something like that, real world, if we're searching a collapsed building and there's an area that I'm not confident he's gotten his nose across yet, I'm going to use those directionals to send him into that area and then tell him search, which is his go back to work command.
So you're using his nose and his visual, but you're also using yours from a different
we very
point.
much are a team.
Okay.
So when we're searching an area, I'm very much keeping track of what he's covered, what he hasn't covered, areas we need to cover, areas of importance, depending on my search and rescue background. So we do that a lot in missing person searches where we end up out in the woods. And he's been out, I guess we didn't talk about this earlier, he's been out since he's been in service 55 times.
Okay.
And he's helped send a lot of people home to their families, including 2 that were a direct result of him being there.
So I know on a car wreck where we've seen a car seat in a vehicle, we've asked you to come out with Zoom.
Yeah.
And so what was that incident you're just referring to?
Yeah, so
Something similar to that?
So I call those small areas.
Okay.
And a lot of times, especially at night, if we get a car off the roadway, rollover type situation or ejection type situation, we'll bring him in and I'll determine a radius that we need to search to make sure that no one else was ejected, that no one else potentially had an injury, they started to wander a certain direction and then collapsed. And in one that you're referring to, we had a vehicle accident where the driver, it was a rollover, the driver unfortunately passed away, but there were empty car seats in the back seat of the car. So we don't know at that point, were there children in those seats?
Right.
Were they empty to begin with? So the way to make sure is we bring Big Dog in and send him around to search the area, and then we know that there's no one inside that radius that we need to search.
Okay. And something else that us as firefighters have, we can use our imaging cameras at night.
Absolutely.
But I think adding their scent,
Yes.
and what is the dog's nose scent? I can't remember. What's it?
So it's not to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but I'm gonna throw some numbers at you. So a dog his size, his brain is not that much smaller than an adult human's brain. We use about 1 cubic inch of our brain dedicated to scent. He uses 1/8 of his entire brain dedicated to scent. We have 40 million scent receptors in our nose. He has 240 million.
Okay.
These dogs can break down scent in a way that incomprehensible isn't the right word because we understand it, but it is far beyond our capacity. The bottom line is these dogs' noses are the most powerful search tool in the world. There is no technology that can match what they do.
Oh, nice.
So even when I get called to something like that, I'll advise them, hey, get the thermals out and do that until we get there. And then when we get there, we run the dog. Now we've not only covered it once, but we've covered it twice. And the second time with Big Dog's nose, and we know we're clear.
Okay, I love it. All right, so let's see what we're gonna do here.
All right, here. Here. Good boy. Ready? Get up. Wait. Over. Wait. Over. Wait. Yes. Good boy. Oh, that's a good boy. Good job, buddy. So something as simple as that, and normally, if it was a longer area that I need him to move over to, I just hold my weight. I let him go to the spot I need and then give him that weight and then back to search command and he goes right back to work.
Okay.
And a matter of fact, during our certification test, the last one, I had to utilize that during my test because there was an area of the rubble pile. Yes, good boy. There was an area of the rubble pile I wasn't 100% confident he had covered based on the wind and environmental conditions. So I gave him a back, and over, search. He went back to work. He covered the area that I had questions about. He came back and said, Dad, there's nothing here, and we called the search.
Okay.
And he ended that certification with a perfect score.
Good job, Zoom. All right, Mike, we have the tunnel set up for him, and you were explaining.
Yeah, so when these dogs are initially tested, their first level of testing, there's a gamut of agility items like the ladder and directional control, things like that, that we need to be able to show that the dogs are proficient in. And one of the things, and this actually shows trust between he and I, this tunnel, if he looks in it, he can't see where it goes.
Okay.
Because it dead ends to him, right? Dogs don't have great depth perception. So all he sees is blue or a shade of blue.
Yeah, and even worse right there when it moved.
So essentially, my dog has to trust that I'm not sending him somewhere that's going to hurt him. He has to understand that I'm asking him to do something and it's going to be okay.
Okay.
And in reverse, I need to trust that my dog is going to do what I ask him to do, and knowing that I'm not sending him into something that hopefully isn't going to hurt him.
I forgot to ask at the beginning, how many dogs, you might have said it, I can't remember, how many dogs like this across the country?
So it's always changing in the rosters across the country. It's hard to tell because some dogs are on multiple teams, so they get counted twice, but it's really the same dog. There's somewhere around 300 Type 1 live fine dogs in the country.
So in the Kansas City area, Kansas, Missouri, what regionally?
Zoom is it. We have 11 for the Kansas State Task Force in the state of Kansas. Zoom is the KC Metro dog.
Okay.
A lot of our work is under the flag of KCKFD, mutual aid to KC Mo, Jackson County, Leavenworth, Tongi, Johnson County. He's been basically in every area of the metro, and he's at the disposal of law enforcement and fire.
Okay.
We work a lot with RPD. They know his capabilities. One of his fines was as a result of KCKPD contacting us up in the north end by 18s.
Okay.
So he is twitching right now with anticipation. So he stays pretty busy. And another note that we hadn't got to earlier, last year Zoom was nominated for an award. It was a national award called the Aftermath K-9 Grant. There were 610 dogs that were nominated for this award.
Is that the one we were voting on and everything? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So he was nominated by a neighboring fire department. Out of the 610 dogs, for a week, people were allowed to vote. In total, there was over 500,000 people that voted, and Zoom was named in the top 15 working dogs in the entire country. So you do the math, that's around the top 2% of the working dogs in the country.
Good deal.
So here we go, boy. You ready? Here. Let's go. Yes, good boy. So that's a full-on U-turn, which is actually a little more than what we do for testing. Smooth, steady. My dog is cautious, but he's always moving forward. Yeah, which is what I love.
I couldn't get over there in time to film him coming back through.
Yes, good
Let's do that again. That would be a cool shot.
Come on, big dog. Here. Yes, good boy.
He was looking for that toy, wasn't he?
Oh,
looking for his reward.
That's what he wants.
Good job, Zoom.
That toy, good boy. Yes.
So, Mike is going to put me through the torture chamber here.
That's right.
So I'm going to get in this, and what are we doing here?
So this is called a bark barrel, and we use this initially when they're puppies. This is how we first imprint them with human scent, live human scent. So any live handler in the country has access to bark barrels like this, and this is where they start their dog. This is where they fine-tune behavior, fine-tune their alert, all sorts of different things we can do with these barrels. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick Captain Pope in that there barrel, and we're gonna put the lid on there, and it's got this nice convenient mouse hole on the bottom.
Okay.
That's where your scent is coming out, and if you put the camera in the right spot, you're gonna see Zoom coming. So hopefully your ears aren't ringing by the time you get out of there, because he's got a big boy bark. But he's gonna come up, he's gonna put his nose in that hole, he's gonna take a big breath, you'll probably be able to hear it. He's gonna turn back at me once or twice and bark, and then he's gonna stand there and bark at that hole.
Okay.
So what he's doing is saying, Dad, right here. This is where the scent's coming from, right here, right here, right here. He is trained to bark until I arrive and reward him with the toy.
Okay. All right, well, I'll climb in there then.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
We'll roll it out here in the grass a little bit.
All right, anything for the channel? Zoom, you gonna find me? He wanted in there.
He might get in there with you, I don't know.
Don't roll me down this hill, Mike.
Well, no promises, my brother.
All right.
So yeah, just kind of lay on your belly there.
Lay down straight. All right.
Yeah, you might be able to.
There we go.
There he is.
Now I'm getting the feel.
If you guys don't hear from Steve again, he's still out here in this barrel. So I'm gonna hand the camera back to you, buddy. Still recording there.
All right.
Okay, so if you got a free hand, you may hold on to that lanyard. Yep.
It's good light,
All
so.
right. Okay, well, I'm going to back him up a little bit and I'll send him to you. You're definitely going to know when he's here.
All right.
Located Steve. In his active alert. I'm going to make him get a little closer in there with his nose. Yes, good boy. That's a good boy.
Good job, Zoom.
That's a good boy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. So one of the things they have to do in their test, or the first level of testing, is we have 3 barrels like this, and only one will have a person in it. Good boy.
Okay.
And they're all sealed up except to let scent out. He has to pick the right barrel. I have to tell the judge that he's picked the right barrel, and then Zoom has to stay with the barrel on alert for 30 seconds. Good boy, yes, before I'm allowed to reward him.
So kind of like what he was doing there.
Yeah, so it demonstrates victim commitment. I need to make sure that my dog, when he locates scent or locates the closest as he can get to somebody and he's at that scent, that he will not leave them. So we have to demonstrate in the test that victim commitment. And usually I'm a lot closer than 30 seconds behind him, but and when we were training for that, I would actually make him do it for 60 seconds. So we would train longer than we needed to test for.
Okay.
Good boy.
All right, I'm gonna wiggle out of this tunnel.
We probably need that on video.
We do. Let's get that on.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, I still got the agility.
Oh yeah, you look good. It's like you were born to do it. Dog training victim right there, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Good job, Zoom.
That's a good boy. You guys will notice right now he's not wearing his collar. Anytime he's in an actual search, we always take their collars off. One is something, if we're on a rubble pile, we don't get him hung up. If we're out in a wide area and he's working ahead of me and I lose visual and he gets hung up, I'll lose my dog. I'll never know where he went. So we always take the collars off. The one exception is at night. He does have a LED light up collar, but it's a breakaway collar. So if he does get hung up, I think it's only 5 pounds of force will break it off his neck.
Okay.
So we take, with these dogs, we take every care and every precaution. Quite literally, he's my best friend. I'm married with 2 kids. I spend more time with this dog than any human being since we've been paired together. And every handler across the country, the way we train and work with our dogs, it's always the highest standard of care, the best equipment, the best gear, the most caution that we can use in everything. So, and you can see he's a happy, healthy boy.
Yeah.
Good boy. Here. All right. Out. That's it. Good boy.
All right. Thanks for watching the video to this point. He's the star of the show right here.
That's right.
Zoom, you got anything to say? Nope. Good job, buddy. Way to find me in that tunnel and alert. So, Mike, thanks for being on the channel and sharing your training with Zoom. I always thought when you started doing this, it's something special. So
I appreciate it.
I'm glad he's on the channel. Yeah, I'm tearing up because this is important to me.
I know, man. It is me. And that's why I'm here. That's why I texted you to see if we could do stuff like this. And it means a lot that you guys had us out.
Yeah. Thanks for contacting because you never know who this is going to help. I hope it helps everyone.
Hell yeah.
Yes. All right, brother. Love you.
Love you too, man.
Yeah. Love you, Zoom.
He's gone.
All right, Zoom.
There he is.
Now I get to play with you, buddy.
That's right. Yeah, just like Rose. Pull him in and then let him back out.
Let me get some workout in.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. Now, whenever you're ready, just let him win and say yes.
Yes, buddy.
Good boy. Good boy.